Hey guys, what's up? Baseball Lover 1984 here. And well, as you see by the thumbnail, I'm going to be talking about the 5 Japanese players that are coming to the States. And now here's the best thing. I know at least one of them has definitely said he does not want to go to the West Coast. He does not want to go to the Dodgers. And well, I'll tell you which one when we get to him, but I am definitely praying he can land on the Mets roster. But yeah, I'm going to give you the stats, the teams that they were on in Japan, everything like that, and yeah, we're just going to go from there. Like I said, there's 5 of them. And, there's 2 of them. Like I said, there's the one who said he definitely does not want to go to the Dodgers. There's a second one that, as well was saying he really doesn't want to go to the Dodgers. From what I got, the majority of the 5 really don't want to go to the West Coast. They really don't want to go to the Dodgers, which is rare because most of your Japanese players do want to go to the West Coast because it's closer to Japan. It's closer to their time zone. But at least, like I said, one of them has definitely said he does not want to go to the Dodgers. But like I said, there is another one who I would love to see end up on the roster. Honestly, I'd love to see any of these 5 players end up on the roster for the Mets. But, we'll have to see what happens. And, as I said in my short about Nimmo being traded, Diaz leaving the Mets, and Pete going to Baltimore, honestly, the front office needs to do something. The front office of the Mets need to do something. Steve Cohen needs to throw around some of that money for the Mets. But, here we go. Let's get into the 5 players. Okay. So, before I get into the first player, you're going to notice that right here, you're going to see the picture of the player. And of course, they're going to be wearing their Japanese team hat. So, the first player we're going to start off with, and yes, I printed out everything. We're going to start with Munetaka Murakami, who's an infielder, plays third base and first base, for the Tokyo Yakult Swallows. He played for them from 2018 to 2025, so 8 years in Japan. So what I'm going to give you guys, for everybody, is games played, or at least for the batters. It's going to be games played, batting average, plate appearances, at-bats, hits, runs, doubles, triples, home runs, RBIs, walks, and strikeouts. So, we're going to start off again for Murakami. His batting first he played in 892 games for the Swallows. Again, from 18 to 25. His batting average is a .270 batting average with 3,780 plate appearances. Now remember, that's plate appearances, not at-bats. Because at-bats only count if you get on base via a hit or something, or basically that. A walk, hit by pitch, does not count for an at-bat. So he has 3,117 at-bats with 843 hits, 535 runs, 146 doubles with 4 triples, 246 home runs, 647 ribbies, 614 walks, and he struck out 977 times. Now, again, I honestly think he would be a fit for anybody's roster. Again, like I said, all 5 of these guys, to my knowledge, have all said they really don't want to go to the Dodgers. They really don't want to go to the West Coast because the Dodgers already have too many Japanese players on it already, with Shohei, Ryoki Sasaki, Yamamoto, Which, mind you, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Sasaki. especially Sasaki and Otani. You know, I mean, hell, I have a Otani jersey from the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. You know, and Sasaki, I followed his career with my team in Japan, the Chibe Lotte Marines. So, you know, I mean, I do love him. I do like him. But I'm not going to lie, I want to see the Dodgers brought down a peg. So, let's get on to the next player. Alright, next player, as you saw, is Kazuma Okamoto. An infielder, he played third base with my other team from Japan, the Yomiuri Giants. Now, anybody who doesn't know, the Yomiuri Giants, or the Tokyo Giants, are basically the New York Yankees of Japan. They've won more Nippon series than any team in the NPB. So, yeah, this player is on a very prestigious team in Japan, in Yomiuri. He played for 10 years for the Giants. And you'll see this as a trend with Japanese players. They normally tend to play for the same team almost their entire career. And especially in this case with Okamoto, 10 years with the Yomiuri Giants, from 2015 to 2025. Now with him, he has 1,074 games played, with a batting average of 277. He has 4,494 plate appearances, 3,934 at-bats, 1,089 hits, 574 runs. He's got 212 doubles, 3 triples, 248 home runs, 717 ribbies. He walked 481 times and struck out 796 times. Now, Okamoto is the one infielder, the one batter that I would love to have on the Mets roster. You know, I truly feel that we could put him at third base, even possibly move him to shortstop if need be. Maybe not so much shortstop because we do have Lindor at short. But, you know, we could still put him at third base, or even make him a designated hitter. Kind of like what the Red Sox do with, why can't I think of his name now? The Japanese player on the Red Sox. I can't think of his name now. When I get it, I'll put it down here. But, so, you know, that's my thoughts right now. Like I said, I would love to see him in the orange and blue. So, let's get to the next player. Alright, guys, so now, these next 3 players are all pitchers. Okay, so when we go by the pitching stats, I'm going to give you, again, games played, but now you always have to remember, pitchers in the NPB only pitch once a week. Okay, that's their rotation in Japan because they use a 6-man rotation, which is ultimately what a lot of the teams here in the U.S. have been trying to do when they have a Japanese pitcher on the roster who's a starter, is they try to make a 6-man rotation. So this way it's pretty much like they're pitching back in the NPB. So you're going to get games played, well, games started, batters faced, ERA, their win-loss record, innings pitched, complete games, hits allowed, home runs allowed, strikeouts, walks, and hit batters. So, we're going to start with Tatsuya Imai, who's a right-handed pitcher for the Saitama Seibu Lions. He played 8 years in the NPB from 2018 to 25. Now, this is the guy who said he definitely does not want to go to the Dodgers. Matter of fact, his exact words were, "I want to beat the Dodgers." So this is definitely the guy, the pitcher, that I want to see on the Mets roster. I think Imai mixed with Senga would be a 1-2 punch from Japan. And I think it would make a good 6-man rotation for the Mets. So, to get into his stats, he started 159 games in 8 years. Now again, remember, once a week pitching. He faced 4,065 batters. He has an ERA of 3.15, a win-loss record of 58-45. He pitched 963 and 2/3 innings, 14 complete games. He allowed 753 hits, 75 home runs. He struck out 907 batters, walked 468 batters, and hit 55 batters. Now again, like I said, he doesn't want to go to the Dodgers. He's made that very clear. He wants to beat the Dodgers. Again, his words, a quote from him. And, that's one of the reasons why I want to see him in the orange and blue. Especially because he wants to beat the Dodgers. He does not want to see the Dodgers win another championship. He wants a ring in the U.S. So, Mets front office, don't let him slide. Like, seriously. Like I said, I have a feeling him and Senga together, great 1-2 punch. But that's just my opinion. On to the next player. Alright, next player is Kona Takahashi, right-handed pitcher, also from the Saitama Seibu Lions. He played 10 years as well with the Lions, from 15 to 25. So in 10 years, and now again, as I will keep saying, remember, once a week in the rotation. He played 196 games. He started 196 games. He faced 5,066 batters with an ERA of 3.39, a win-loss record of 73 and 77. So, okay, he's got a losing record, but still, I've listened to games where Takahashi has started, thanks to one of the YouTubers here, who puts out the Nippon Baseball League games, and he does the commentary for them like a radio broadcast. I've gotten to hear basically a radio broadcast of him pitching. And he's still not a bad pitcher despite a losing record of 73 and 77. He pitched 1,199 innings, 9 complete games, allowed 1,131 hits, with 95 home runs allowed. He struck out 870 players, walked 423 batters, and hit 68 batters. Now again, that's still not bad stats. For only pitching once a week for 10 years, that is not bad. And mind you also, that doesn't even, as far as I know, that doesn't include any playoffs that Saitama has been to in those 10 years. So, here we go. We're on to the last player. Alright guys, here we go. Last player, last Japanese player who's coming to America. And that is Hiroto Sakai, right-handed pitcher from the Hanshin Tigers, who were in the Nippon Series this year. And they won the Nippon Series last year. So, he has playoff experience, and he has championship experience. Again, this is another guy I would not mind seeing in the Mets rotation. Because God knows we need pitching. Even if not in the starting rotation, I'm pretty sure we could put him in our bullpen and even make him a long reliever if need be. I'm sure we could adjust him into being a long reliever. Now, he played 9 years with Hanshin, from 2017 to 2025. He started 104 games. Now again, as I kept saying, remember, once a week for their rotation. In that 104 games started, he faced 2,417 batters with an ERA of 2.18. Now, I do believe if I take a look, and yes, he is, because I just did take a look, he's got the best ERA out of all 3 pitchers. So again, even if let's just say we take Sakai and we make him a starter, and say we take Imai and put him in the bullpen, I'd still like to see, if anything, maybe even both of these guys on the Mets, but I'm not being greedy. I'll take one or the other. Preferably, I'd probably like Imai because he wants to crush the Dodgers. His win-loss record is a good one, 45-26. He pitched 590 and 1/3 innings with 9 complete games. So basically 1 complete game a year if you really look at it. He allowed 494 hits, 34 home runs allowed, 511 strikeouts. He walked 175 batters and hit 8 batters. So again, out of all the pitchers, I think he's got the better numbers. I think he's going to make any team a great pitcher. Again, I'd like to see him in the orange and blue, either as a starter or a long reliever in the bullpen. Same thing with Imai. Hell, I would even give up the third baseman to get both of them. I'd give up the third baseman from the Yomiuri Giants just to take both of them. But again, that's all my opinion. To quote a friend of mine, Bunny, that's just my 2 cents. But, again, this is all my thoughts, but the stats don't lie. And now, in case you were wondering where I got these stats from, I will put a link in the description. I went to the NPB's official website to get all these stats. So, these aren't something I'm just coming up off the top of my head. These are the official stats from the official league's website for the Nippon Pro Baseball League. I'll even put links to each of the players, so this way you can even go and see all the stats. I just picked a couple of them, but you can go and see all the stats for all these players, including for the pitchers, because they do have interleague play in Japan. And, when they go, and they have it how we used to have it set up with the Pacific League and the Central League. I believe in the Pacific League, they have it to where they use a DH, but in the Central League, the pitchers have to hit. So, when Pacific League teams go to the Central League, pitchers have to hit. And then, of course, but... so you can even go see the pitchers' hitting stats. I only focused on the pitching stats since, unless they're going to be a two-way player, the batting stats for the pitchers really don't matter too much. But who knows? Maybe one of them might want to be the next Shohei Ohtani and be a two-way player. But I don't know. None of them have really made that announcement. But anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this look and, maybe... you learned something about the 5 Japanese players that are looking to come over from the NPB to the MLB. Let me know down in the description. If you're not a Mets fan, or even if you are a Mets fan, let me know. Out of these 5 players, Who do you want to see come to the Mets? Or no matter who your team is, out of these 5 players, is there any one of these 5 or multiple of these 5 that you would like to see on your team's roster? So, as always, until next time, this is your boy, Baseball Lover 1984, saying, I will see you at the ball game. Play ball.